Welcome to the session. So in this particular video, we will talk about an important, interesting application of linked list, and that is usually asked in an interview as well. So you can say that it's an interview based question, perspective I am talking about here. So the question says that what you need to do here is that suppose a linked list is given to you. For example, I'm saying that you have been provided a linked list and you need to do the reversal of that, right? So here, suppose you will be having maybe the data like this, right? Here, suppose I am having 2, here, suppose I am having 4, here, suppose I am having 8, here, suppose I am having 16. Now, suppose the address of the linked list is 100, followed by 200, followed by 400, followed by maybe 500. This is the memory address of a node that we have. Now, obviously the next pointer will contain 200 here, here it will contain 400, here it will contain 500, and here it will contain the value as simply none. Can I say? The question says that what you need to do, this kind of a linked list is given to you. You need to find out a reversal of this given linked list. This is a very common, frequently asked questions in an interviews. And till now you will see if there is a topic of linked list they are interested in talking about. So this question they can ask from you. So how basically we can approach towards this problem? People usually get confused with the pointers here. So let me try to show you the approach step by step. We'll try to see the logic and the intuition behind this reversal of linked list first, followed by we will try to see the implementation of the same. The similar manner, the way we used to solve other problems as well. So obviously here we will be having the head node whose value will start from 100 itself, right? So this is pointing here. So this is the head node that we have. I think it's pretty much fine. Now what we can do here is that we can maybe take 2 pointers, or it requires 3 pointers. One is previous, which is basically responsible to take care of my previous node. Because what I actually want, I want the output as 16, I would say 16 pointing to 8, 8 pointing to 4, 4 pointing to 2, and this head node somehow is pointing to this 500. Can I say that this kind of output that I marked as a green marker is what is the desired output? So this is where I need to change my pointers. The next pointer of every node if I will be able to change. So here we all know that this is the data, and this is the pointer value or the next pointer that we have for every node. Now if somehow I will be able to change the next pointer of every node, then I think I will be able to grab the results, whatever I want. Now, I think this is pretty much fine. Now, what we can do here is that here, simply, if you will focus here, we can start taking 3 pointers, and how basically we can approach this problem. Our previous pointer will be initialized as none. There is one next pointer which is responsible to take care of the next node, which is also, you can say, maybe initialized as none only. And there is a current pointer which is responsible for the current node, whose value will be starting from the head node. So now this is the current value which is 100. So what I am saying is that this current is pointing to here. Now what will happen? We can make one simple while loop to traverse throughout the complete linked list that we have, and we can simply say that while the value of the current is not none, what we want to do, first of all we need to initialize the value of a next pointer, and as I told you that the next pointer is simply responsible to take the next upcoming node. So what I can say is that whatever be the value of a current dot next that I have will become the next pointer. So what is the value of current next? 100's next is 200. So can I say that this is the next pointer, right? This is the next pointer as of now. Okay. After that, because I have stored the value of next pointer, the current next value towards next pointer, now what I can do is that I can change this value of current dot next with the previous. So now whatsoever be the value of previous I have, I will modify that value and copy that value to the current dot next. So now previous is none, and that is what we want, because if we do the reversal of a linked list, then this is the last node, and when this is the last node, this one is the last node, and when this is the last node, we all know that for a last node, the next value will become none. So here I will just change it to none, right? After doing that second step, what we want is we want to iterate further nodes. So what I can do here is that whatsoever be the current node I have, that will become my previous node. So by saying that, now this current, your value of current was 100 initially, and your value of next underscore PTR will be 200, and your value of previous was none at the very first iteration. Now what I'm saying is that whatsoever the value of current you have, because now you want to move towards the next node that you have, so this will become your previous. So whatever the current you have will become your previous. So 100 will go here, and whatsoever the next pointer you have, which is 200, will become your current node. So that now you will start shifting the pointer towards the next node. So now what will happen is that this will become your current node, and this will become your previous node. Now again you will check once that is the current value is none. No, it's not none. The value is 200. So now what we'll do? Again, you will say whatever be the value of current next. So now what is the value of current next? 200's next is 400. Can I say? So here if you will see this 400 value, I will store it as a next pointer. So here 400 will get stored. And now this is something which I can say is a next pointer. Now once I will be able to retain the information of a next pointer as 400, now I have the capability to change this value, because I don't want this linkage. For example, here if you will see, this linkage is breaked out. Now what I want is that I want this node 400, it should not point to 400, it should point to 100. So what I can do here is that I can say that whatever be the value of previous, which is 100, should be the value of current dot next. So now instead of 400, what is the value of current dot next? 400. I want 100 here. So now again this linkage will get breaked and it will start pointing to the previous node, right? Now again what will happen? Once this task is done, I am super happy. This node is also completed. This node is also done. Now I want to further move towards the right side, towards the next node. So again there will be an update in the pointer. Now again, whichever be the current node will become the previous, whichever be the next pointer will become the current. So again the last two steps will be the value of the current is something which is equals to previous. So what is the value of the current? It is 100. Now this current value is 200 will get changed here. And the value of the next pointer, so here I didn't mention that. So now the current is something which is equals to next pointer, which is what we are doing as a very last step. So now the value of this 400 will become current. So again there will be update of the pointers now. So what will happen? Finally, if you will observe here that this will become 400 will become my current, 200 become my previous, and because 100 so the current value is 400, which is not none, it will go inside the while loop and will say that the current next, which is 500, will become my next pointer now. So this will become next PTR now. Fine. I hope that I am making sense to everyone. Now again it will move towards the next step. What will happen? Now again I want to break this link. I want to break this link. How should I break? After changing the value of current dot next with the previous. What is previous? It is 200. So now again second step is to change the value so that linkage will happen reverse side. That's happened. Now again the task is done. We want to move towards the another next node. So what will happen? Again, the current value, which is 400, will become previous. So now it will become previous, and the next pointer, which is which was 500, will become now current, right? Again, if you will see here, so what will happen? Your value of current will become 500 and your value of previous will become 400. So now the linkage will happen just like this. Previous will be this and current will be this. Now moving this, so current is again not equals to none. So it will go inside the while loop, and now the next pointer will become none because the current next is nothing but none. So here it will become none. Now the value of the current next, which is none, I will change it to previous. So if you will see, I am again and again doing the same task, the simple 4 steps, right? Once this is done, linkage will happen towards backside. Thing is done. So first 2 steps are just for the changing of the current next, right? Storing it inside the next pointer and then changing the current dot next. The next 2 steps were to mainly, I would say, shift the pointers. So now again what will happen? Whatever be the current value I have, which is 500, will become my previous. So 500 will become the previous. Whatsoever the next pointer I have, which is none, will become my current. Now once the value of the current is none, it will not go outside this while loop. It will not go outside this while loop. Now only the last step will be remaining. That is the linkage between the head node and the last node. So what we can do at the very last step, when we will move out of this while loop, we want that the whatever be the value of previous that we have, right, which is I think 500, I will assign that value towards the self dot head in order to make that linkage to happen. So here if you will see what is happening, what is the value of previous? It is 500. So I am saying just shift, just change the pointer and assign this value to self dot head, so that this linkage will also happen. Now here if you will see, you always know that head is the pointer which is pointing to the first node, and now if you will observe here, yes, it is pointing to the first node which I want after doing the reversal, right? This 16 node should be the first node. So initially you will be having the list like 2 followed by 4 followed by 8 followed by 16, right? After doing the reversal, what I want is that 16 is the first node. So after that 8, after that 4, after that 2. So what I also want that the value of the head node which it is pointing to, head should point to this node only. So this is important. Usually students confuse after this point. Okay, after this step they usually don't do this particular step. But this is equally important because if you will not do the step, the linkage of head node will not happen to the very first node. And this is how basically we can do the reversal in any kind of a linked list, right? I hope that it's quite easy if you will just try to plot it taking a dummy linked list and just try to just change the pointers. It's, as I always told you, that any of the question coming to you with respect to the linked list, it's just the change of pointers that you need to take care of. Everything is so simple. It's just that you need to see what is the input given to you and what is the expected output that they are demanding from you. With the help of which, just keep thing in your head that how basically you should manipulate or the change your pointers. That's the only thing that you need to do. And automatically, just by applying a very simple logical understanding, you will be able to get the answer. You will be able to grab the logic behind that. So let's get started with the code implementation. I hope that it's quite simple. So now what I can do here is that I have taken the same code which I have just demonstrated you for insertion at the end in the previous sessions. So what I will do here is that I will just try to add the reversal function on this particular same class that I have, right? So if you remember, here we will be having the original linked list. So let me add maybe few more nodes here. So I can say let me add 12 and then here I have 14 suppose. So this is the original linked list that we have. Now what we want is that we want to print the reversal of the linked list. That is what we want to print, right? So we can say ls.print list, right? And before that, we need to call the function ls.reverse list. And here we can call the function, right? I think it's quite fine. Now, as this function calling happened, we need to define this function, correct? So let me define it here. So I want to define the reversal of the linked list. So what I can do here is that def reverse list. I think this is the method name that we have called also. Let me just verify once. I think it's correct. Yeah. Now what we can do here is that we can take one pointer previous, which is initialized with none. We can take one pointer maybe next PTR, which also I am initializing as none. I can take the value of the current pointer, which is equals to self.head, which is the starting point of the linked list where the node is starting. Now I can just apply the while loop where I can say that while the current value is not equals to none, do one thing for me, initialize the value of next PTR as the current next value. After that, what you can do is that change the current dot next value to the previous value, because I want my node to point to the previous node, not to the next node. Perfect. Now once this is done, our task is mainly done. Now we just need to shift the pointers. So whatsoever be the current pointer I have will become the previous one, and whatsoever be the next pointer I have will become my next current one. And once I will be out of the while loop, there is a linkage of head node to the last node is required, right? If you remember in the blackboard, I have shown you. Now for this step, what you can do here is that you can do one simple thing. You can say self.head, because we need to change the value of the self now, because the initial node itself gets changed after doing the reversal, is equals to previous node. I think this is pretty much fine. Just to get a good view, what I can do here is that I can maybe use some spacing in a better way. Fine. So here initially my linked list was look like 12, 8, 9, 10, 12 and 14. Okay. Now after doing the reversal, we are getting 14, 12, 10, 9, 8 and 12. I think it seems fine to me, although 12 is repeating again and again, but it's okay. So this is how basically the logic of reversal of linked list will happen. I think I'm making sense to everyone, right? So if I will ask from you here, for this particular code, what will be the time complexity? What will be the time complexity to reverse a node inside the linked list? So here if you can see, we are just traversing a single loop and to the entire linked list that we have, right? So can I say it will be big O of n, right? Inside that, if you will observe, it is just the traversal of the node value and the pointer value which we are doing. But yes, we are traversing towards the complete end of the linked list. So we can say that it would be big O of n. So this is how basically the reversal of the linked list will happen. And this question is very widely asked in interviews. So please pay attention towards that. If you will be able to understand these 4 steps inside the while loop, what is happening, how the pointers are shifting, how the values of the next pointer and the previous node is going to change, then every step is easy. And for that understanding, before doing the implementation, you need to understand the logic behind that. The way I used to tell you that firstly try to understand the logic, grasp it, and then only go for the implementation. After that, you will observe that implementation is pretty easy if you know the logic pretty well, right? So with this, I would like to end this particular session. I hope that you really enjoyed it and you gain insights from that as well. And Bye-bye everyone. I'll see you all in my next upcoming video where we will discuss another interview based questions related to the linked list. Okay? Bye-bye everyone.